I've never even seen this guy make anything. I don't know what he could even do. And
Okay.
otherwise, you might not wake up off the mat.
Yeah. Right, for sure. Man, yeah, and I want to wake up. I don't want to get hit by trucks, and I do want to wake up. So this is
Please make sure you put that in your YouTube video or something.
Okay. All right. So I'm about to jump on another client call in about 5 minutes here. It's going to be with this guy that I've known for quite a while. His name is Steve. And although we've known each other for quite a long time, we've never actually done business together. And he kind of knows that I do graphic design on the side. And he actually has like a new business that he's starting, and he wants to, kind of reach out to me and kind of just, see if there's anything I can do to help him out. And so this is going to be the same thing as last time, right? Where I'm going to document the entire process of the sales call between myself, the graphic designer, and the client. And unlike the previous video I've done, where I recorded them without them knowing and got their consent towards the end, this time I got the consent from the client ahead of time, let them know, hey, I'm doing a series in which I'm documenting the entire sales process between the graphic designer and the client, just to kind of as an educational purpose, so people can know what a sales call sounds like. And he opted in. When people help me out with this, I'm usually very, very grateful, and I tend to hook them up a little bit. And by hooking them up, I mean, I generally try to not charge them anything for it. I'm totally okay with walking away from this project, with $0, because they, helping me build really, really good content. So hopefully, these calls are going to help you guys learn a little bit more about how to talk to clients. So I actually don't know too much. I just know he might want a kind of like cartoony looking logo for this food, or for this restaurant. And I don't even really know what type of restaurant it is. I think it has something to do with burgers. He's gonna call me in about like 2 minutes. So I hope everything goes well, and stay tuned. Hello, this is Patrick.
Hey, Pat, it's Steve.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Going pretty good. How you doing?
Oh, not bad, man. Just trying to stay busy during this whole quarantine lockdown.
I hear you.
So before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I know we briefly talked a little bit about doing some work together, and I know we've known each other for a while, but we've never actually done any business together. I just want to say thank you again for helping me do this YouTube thing that I kind of told you about, where you're actually being recorded right now. And the idea is that I want to document the entire process between a graphic designer and the end client, and what the sales call looks like. And so thank you for joining me in on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want you to know George is here with me, and he understands that he's being recorded at the same time.
Okay.
How you doing today?
Hey, George, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Cool, man. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Tell me a little bit about your business and what you guys are trying to do.
Well, basically, we're trying to create a fast food chain. We believe that when it comes to fast food, it's all about consistency, quality, and price.
Sure.
So we're all familiar with In-N-Out and a few other places that, have been very successful with this type of model. So that's kind of where we're at with it. We decided that a really good taste platform that we feel would be good, that people really love, is a small burger on a Hawaiian bread. And a Hawaiian bread being steamed versus toasted, which gives it a completely different taste, gives it a sweet taste, soft texture, and every bite it just melts in your mouth. So it's a pretty amazing
experience.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's just the taste. The taste palette is incredible, and as far as we know, there's nobody that does anything like this. The name of the restaurant is going to be Bites, B-I-T-Z, with a long line over the I, to give it the I sound versus the bit sound.
B-I-T-Z with like a long, like a horizontal dash over the I, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any specific type of audience that you're going for, that you want to sell these burgers to?
I would say, if we can get an experience like this, in near a college, or where there's a lot of traffic, where the price is at at a consistent price where a college student can pay for it and still have a good experience with their food. If we can give them a taste palette that's pretty amazing and leaves them at the end of the day with a happy stomach, then we've done our job.
Okay, that's good. This is a very good start. You know, in terms of visuals, everybody has an idea in mind of what they want their brand to look like. And not everybody is good at articulating that or necessarily even drawing it out. But just kind of give me like a rough idea of what you envision this logo or this brand to kind of look like.
We've kind of been brainstorming a little bit, but more of a kind of a fun type of creature where, I don't know if you're familiar with the Emotions Fire guy from Pixar.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Kind of small body, or I should say small legs, bigger body, bigger mouth with big teeth that I don't know how you would do it, but within the B somehow maybe create this character biting into it, trying to figure out how to integrate this little dude that we're talking about into the Bites logo. Looks like he's having a great time biting this mini burger.
Biting burger. Okay. And in terms of color scheme, any ideas?
It seems that some sort of red, yellow, green is what people are attracted to when it comes to burger places. I'd say along that color palette would probably be a great idea.
Of course. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the biggest restaurants we know, including In-N-Out, like you said earlier, and McDonald's, they all use this color scheme. KFC, Wendy's, they all use red. It's a good color. So the logo is one of the things that we've talked about. Okay, I'm going to basically do a little bit of research on my end. This style it's kind of bordering into illustration type of logo design, right? Now, logo design, there's like several kinds. There's like some that are very, very flat. They're very shape oriented. They're very like typographic, as in like letters and fonts and things like that, right? But this, I'm imagining it's going to probably be more on the illustrative side where there's going to be looking like, you know how like KFC there's Colonel's head, and then Wendy's there's Wendy's heads. So I think what you're looking for is more on the lines of Wendy's. If you can help me out a little bit, this is what I like to usually tell my clients. If you can just go on Google and just type in anything that you like visually. For example, if you were to just go into Google right now and type in cartoon food logo. Let's type in cartoon food logo. Right. And then there's like all these logos that come up, right? And then you can just be like, oh, I like the way this one looks. And then just copy and paste it, put it into an email and send it to me. What I'm looking for is 3 or more things that you really like, right? And I emphasize a lot more on or more, because the more information you give me, the more insight it gives me on, not only what you want for your brand, but kind of like your personality and like your personal taste towards what you think looks good, right? I'll send you an example of what a previous client sent me, and she sent me like 15 different things. She just kind of went wild with it. But that's good because I was able to really fully understand what she's looking for. And at the end of the day, we didn't even have to go through that many revision processes because we got pretty close to what she was looking for in the first 5 things that I sent her. So 3 things or more of icons, logos, anything. Okay. It could be like a menu or whatever. It could be anything visual, and feel free to go wild with it. It won't take more than like 10 minutes of your time to just kind of Google search this stuff, post it into the email. And I want you to also do the complete opposite. I want you to do 3 and more things that you don't like, that you absolutely do not want to see when it comes to your logo. And, for example, you see something online and you see something you're like, I don't want it to look like this. Make sure you put it in this different section that says, I don't want my logo to look like this. And I'll be sure to definitely keep away from that. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, pretty simple. And again, this is a good way to kind of keep both of us accountable, right? You tell me what you like. I design things based on what you like. And then at the end of the day, the results are going to be good. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I know I've done a lot of talking. Do you have any questions or anything at this point?
No, it's, I think it's gone pretty smoothly. I like your questions. I like your, the process that you're taking to get as much information out of us as you can. And obviously you need that information to move forward. So
right.
I think we're on a good track. Okay.
Very good. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the process of how I work. So basically, after getting this information period, I'm going to go to the drawing board. I'm going to do some sketches. I'm going to design some logos, and I'm going to give you a few mockups. I'm thinking about giving you around 3 initial mockups, okay? And these 3 is what you're going to be looking at and go, okay, I like the way this looks. I don't like the way this looks. Maybe you can combine this one and this one together for this and this. Maybe you can move the arm up, or I don't make the teeth smaller, whatever the case is, right? And then we're going to move into the first round revision. Okay. So as a first round revision, you have usually it's like a day to 2 days. And what's going to happen is you're going to tell me everything you like in an email. Okay. I'm going to take that email and do all those revisions, and I'm going to give it back to you for a second revision. And hopefully we're going to be able to address all of the issues in the second revision. And then after that, we're going to do a finalizing process in which I give you all of the deliverables. Okay. And it's going to give you all the different file formats that you're going to need. Good for print. It's going to be like a PNG, a JPEG, a PDF, and probably like an EPS. Good for printing, good for putting on whatever, maybe some t-shirts. Okay. And by the way, workable files, I will not be distributing that. So things like Photoshop files, Illustrator files, that's not part of this thing. So I'm only going to give you what you need to get printed or used for digital assets. Okay.
Well, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
Oh, that means you can't have the actual files that I use to design the stuff, but you can have the finalized things needed for printing or used for the websites.
Oh, well, I mean, what good would it be of me to have those files anyhow?
I did this kind of as a mistake back in the day. I gave them my workable files, and then the clients never paid, and they just took my stuff to someone else, and then they designed whatever I designed, right? And this ensures that, like, if we ever do business in the future, only I have the power to design the stuff that's needed to design your thing, unless the person wants to design this completely from scratch. And it will never be exactly however I designed it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But what happens if you get hit by a truck today?
Oh, well then sorry, you just have whatever you have.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, the files, of course, they are, if you do need them, I'd have them for purchase. That's the thing. So we end up selling the workable files. That's how this works in the industry. But don't worry, if you need any other type of files that's not the workable files, I can get it to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as long as you don't get hit by a truck.
As long as I don't want to get hit by a truck either. So.
All right. Well, I mean, we can work with that for now. So whatever. I mean, as long as the web designer has what he needs to finish the project, then whatever. I don't care.
Right, for sure. I mean, most of the time, people like doing your web or doing your printing, they're not going to ask for the workable files. They're only going to work the PNG files or whatever, right? And that's basically how it's going to go. Now, with these revision processes, I like to be very, very streamlined with it. So as in, take as much time as you need to really send that one really, really good email. And I prefer it if you didn't keep sending emails throughout the course of the day or throughout the course of the hour. You know what I'm saying? It's like in poker where you string bet. That's like not allowed. It's like once you make your bet, that's it, Because a lot of times this is how scope creeping happens, where people just keep adding stuff on, every 2 hours, and I'm already kind of halfway done with the first set of whatever they requested is. So basically just send all your revisions in during this revision period all at one time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. And one thing that you do as a disclaimer is that there is a possibility that the designer, myself, and we don't work well because of stylistic differences, right? So at a certain point after the second revision, anything after the second revision is going to incur an additional fee. And then if it doesn't work after that, then we basically consider other options, okay? Whether we design a new logo, whether we do more revisions or whatever, right? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, but this almost never happens to me, but I do want to just say it just in case to kind of set the expectations a little bit, right? When I first started, there were times where like I didn't say this type of stuff and people wanted me to redesign stuff all the time, and it just didn't make sense for either parties to keep doing it this way. So just letting you know, the more information you give me in the beginning, the better understanding I have to get it right the first time. And then with my last couple of clients, we didn't even have to hit the second revision period. They just liked it from the first one, cleaned it up, sent the files, and then everything was good to go. Okay?
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What's your guys' budget set aside for this project?
I know that graphic design isn't cheap, especially when it comes to good graphic design. So corporate identity graphic design can get pretty pricey. So what are your rates?
Okay, so every rate is different base per project, right? And what I'm looking at right now is that because this is a little bit different than just like an icon for a logo, it's going to involve me actually just sketching this stuff out. I want to know your budget ahead of time to kind of see if my range falls within your budget. So if I were to say, like, you guys set aside like $1,000 for something like this?
Yeah, I'd say we'd be all right with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking more around 800. So that's kind of what I was thinking for, because there's going to be some kind of illustration, cartooning involved. It's going to be a little bit more. It takes a little bit more time to do that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so 800 is going to be the cost. And then I'm going to send you over some paperwork. What I like to do is I like to accept the payment, half of it ahead of time, and then half of it when the project is finished. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay, cool, man. And of course, any form of payment is okay. Check, Zelle, or PayPal or Venmo is fine as well. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. So now there's two things I need before I get all this started. Of course, we just talked about the payment, and then the email regarding everything that you're looking for in the email. Okay, like everything we talked about earlier. Send over those two things. I'll get started immediately. Do you guys have a timeline for this project? Okay.
So if we could get this completed in the next, 2-3 weeks, that'd be great.
Okay, cool, man. So I'm going to work within like a 7-day turnaround. The sooner you guys send stuff in, the sooner I can send you guys some mocks to take a look at. Okay? Okay. And then I think that's basically it on my end. Do you guys have any other questions? I know I feel like I've just been talking my ass off.
No, you did a great job, explaining everything. So
you're taking us into the direction that we need to go, and so we appreciate that as well. There's some, graphic designers that don't speak enough, and they don't give you a direction to go in. And so I think giving us all of this information, it lets us do our homework and make sure that we do our due diligence to get it right.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Feel free to text me or message me anytime, and I'm looking forward to those two pieces of information, and then I'm ready to get started.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking your time.
All right, thank you, man. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right, bye.
Steve.
Hey, Pat. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How's it going? Thanks for giving me a call. I wanted to just have one last call to kind of wrap up this whole project. I want to get your thoughts on a few things and kind of explain, the finalizing steps. Okay. So first off, what did you think about the whole project? The whole experience, the result, and everything.
It was great. I mean, honestly, it was better than I thought it was. Typically, I've dealt with some other graphic designers before and people that have put businesses together, and every time they say they're going to get something done or they're going to, call at a certain time, they never do it. I mean, it absolutely sucks. You sit over here wondering if they're even working on your project because you don't even hear from them. And the one thing that just really impressed me with you was not only did you come up with some great content, you had some great ideas. I mean, we came to a final product that I think is amazing, but every single time you said you were going to deliver, you did. And to me, that's more important than almost anything, that you could depend on whoever it is you're working with.
I've sort of built my entire work philosophy around that, is always, I'm always trying to deliver on time and exceed expectations, right? So if I said I'm going to give you 2 things to kind of look at, I gave you like 5, like every time, so just to kind of give you some extra choices. And at the end, I even threw in some mock-ups so you can kind of see what they look like on fries, on burgers, because, it's a lot easier to judge the whole thing once you see it in action,
Yeah, I mean, you definitely over-delivered by far. I mean, I'm super impressed, and I would definitely recommend you to anybody, with what you did. And you did it fast. I mean, it was really, really fast.
Right.
Most people come up with this for about 6 months.
Oh, wow. Okay. You've been dealing with the wrong people. I the thing was with me, it's like your time is valuable, so is mine. I want to make sure that I get things done within 7 days, or at least whatever pace is comfortable for you. And, one of the cool things about working with you is that you've also were able to deliver your end of your revisions and your requests on time as well. I've had periods where clients took forever and they took like 2 weeks to like come back with one revision. And I'm just over the project at that point, So we kept the momentum going, and then everything turned out good.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Cool, man. Cool. I'm going to give you the rights to this logo. You get whatever image is like here. Okay. So that's all yours.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool, man. But I would like to have permission to use this in the future for personal promotional things as well. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like, I want to say, hey, I designed this, used it for promotional. Things like, I'm not going to resell your logo to someone else if that's
Right.
a concern as well. I'm never going to do that. This is yours. Okay.
Otherwise, you might not wake up off the mat.
Yeah. Right, for sure. Man, yeah, and I want to wake up. I don't want to get hit by trucks, and I do want to wake up. So this is
Just kidding, Pat. I'm just kidding.
Of course, man. Okay, cool. So the final payment will be the next 400. But this is what I wanted to say, man. So because you've helped me out in the beginning, you've agreed to do this. What you actually don't know is that I've actually never really intended to charge you for this project at all. So it's kind of just like my way of saying thank you. So I think what you've given me before was $400. I'm just going to return that back to you. And the reason you had to pay that in the beginning, and I couldn't tell you this project was free in the beginning because that kind of give away the whole purpose of this whole thing. But when a client gives payment, that shows dedication towards the project. So that's actually very important. I couldn't just like not accept anything until the end. So I'll just refund you the 400, and thanks for helping me out do this project.
Wow, that's awesome, Pat. Thank you.
No problem, man.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. When are we making you burgers?
I mean, whenever, man. Whenever, dude. So, I'm down to try out some burgers. And, if you guys need other stuff in the future, let me know. And good word travels fast, right? So just let people know, and I'll be charging them full price. But just kind of let you know, this stuff, good service comes at this is what I think is a fair price.
I would have had no trouble with you keeping the money. I mean, really, you delivered. At the beginning, when you do business with somebody, you never know.
Right.
You wanted me to send you $400. I'm like, what? I've never even seen this guy make anything. I don't know what he could even do. And
right.
I mean, you over delivered. Please make sure you put that in your YouTube video or something that you over delivered. I mean, it was absolutely incredible how fast you put this together and how well you did it. And I can't say it enough that when somebody says they're going to do something, they do it. That's more important than anything. I mean, even if you came up with crap product, as long as you were on top of everything and you did things when you said you were going to do it, eventually you'll come out with what you're looking for. But I don't care how good you are if you don't return my calls and get your timelines in order. It sucks. It's not even any fun doing the project. I mean, I can honestly tell you that out of all the graphic designers that I've worked with and people that I've put businesses together with, this is the best experience I've ever had.
Okay.
So no, there's nothing that I can say that you could have done any better. You delivered an absolute perfect product, I think, for what we were looking for. Did it on time, in a fashionable manner, and at an incredible price.
Okay. Wow. Cool, man. Well, I mean, free, you can't beat free. So that's probably as good as it gets. I appreciate the words, dude. And, hopefully whatever I create out of this is going to help people on their journey to freelancing, I guess.
And Pat, as well, for yourself, what would this project normally cost to do what was done for Bytes? What would the project normally cost? Because I can put it out there to a lot of people who are business owners and are always looking to revamp what they do. Okay.
It just really depends on the project, but logos go as low as 500, but then again, that's like bare minimum. But it just really depends on also what the client's budget is, right? So if you work with like Ma and Pa, you could probably design a logo for a sandwich. But if you work for Nike, you couldn't even they wouldn't even take $1,000 logo from you if you offered that price. It has to be like tens of thousands, right? So
yeah, of course.
So every client and every price is different. So it just depends on the budget and what their logo means to the company and how valuable it is to the brand.
Perfect.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know. I mean, that way I can start pushing people your way and get you some more work.
Yeah, please.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate your projection on the project, how quickly you were able to turn it around, and just it came out amazing.
That's good, man. That's actually, I love hearing that from clients, and I'm glad I'm able to do my part of the service.
No, definitely over exceeded my expectations, so that was beautiful.
Okay, cool, guys. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for the phone call. I know you guys have a big day. Did you guys have any other questions or anything that I can answer for you while you got me on the phone?
No, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Steve. Have a good afternoon, and George, it was good talking to you.
Appreciate it, Pat. Thank you so much
All right.
as well. You have a great evening.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.